What's up? I'm back. I got my drink in here.
All right,
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
go ahead, James.
Ready to go.
It feels so long. It feels like so long since we've done this.
Yeah.
All
Jump, bro.
right. We need the intro music. I need to insert that. We need to get ready for sound bites. All of that stuff.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Talk on the Table. How's everybody doing during this pandemic?
Hanging in.
Everybody's just like,
Alex, how are you making out? Being as though that I know the girls know you like to host. So are you still hosting?
You know, there's been a gentleman or two who have come through.
Okay.
Gentleman or two.
I can't hold you down.
lights on.
Two. Within what? A week or 2 weeks?
You said with 2 hours.
Within 2
No,
hours.
shut up.
So you move fast.
Don't let can't hold her down.
No, honestly, it is definitely being safe. The company I have had, I know, and that's of course like the black people answer. Well, I know them, so I can't get it. But just trying to be in the house, trying to stay safe. But at the same time, I'm not dead.
Hey, man, so who's the new people that we got on the line?
Oh, what's going on, everybody? I'm Aaron, still living there from the Affairs of the Heart podcast.
And I am DQ, Dwayne Q, also from Affairs of the Heart podcast.
Welcome.
We want to welcome you to the
Guys,
show.
thanks for joining us this week.
Yes, thank you.
From?
Thank you.
We are all big
All right.
fans.
Where y'all
Listen, I am a huge fan of the show. I follow the podcast. Sometimes I have to binge listen. Like last week, earlier this week, I was binge listening in the car, waiting for a Target to open up, for them to tell me that only the old folks are allowed in between 8 and 9. So I got an extra hour to listen to you guys.
So did they let you?
So you guys are definitely dope, and we thank you for coming on the show. Y'all are hilarious. Aaron, talk about the white girl that always keeps talking about. What is it? Put 2 fingers in her butt. In her butt.
Oh yeah, what's her name? Was it Amy or Sarah or something like that? We give her a new name.
Yeah, she has a new name every time.
We need some counseling for her. If y'all didn't listen to it, that part just took me all the way out here. She was in her sexual peak, and she never
Christy.
experienced
Christy,
fingers in her
yeah.
butt. Mm-hmm. All right, listen, we ask you guys to just feel like you're at home on the show. We ask you to just key, laugh, insert your opinion. You know, we're all family. And we're just going to straight dive into the show. So we're going to start off with our hot topic. So we're going to start off with first, has everyone seen the video with Michael J. Harris when he got that unexpected answer on video?
You got what? Say that one more time.
He got an unexpected answer on video. So he was asking about monogamy and the person he was dating.
Talking about the couple.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So what's your take on that?
Couples goals.
Couples goals, right? Couples goals.
Is anybody that's currently in a relationship besides right now?
Nope.
Put your hand down. So we want to let the couples go first because we already know what the singles are going to say. So you're our guest. You could go first. What was your take on that? What was your take on it?
Oh man. Honestly, I think looking at it from a timeline standpoint, if you go back and look at all of the videos and the dates and the timestamps, You know, I think it was honestly, I personally believe it's a publicity stunt. To be honest with you, I think he wanted to get his numbers up, so he wanted to get a bigger check from his, you know, from his I guess suppliers, meaning Facebook or YouTube or, you know, whatever, however he's getting his money in that aspect. And so in order for him to maximize on this pandemic and people being at home, I feel like he decided that, well, I'm going to shake things up a little bit and try to get my numbers up and get some money. That's honestly what I believe. You know, I don't think that the way that things have transpired is actually what happened, especially the last video where this sad poor dude just comes out with a box like, oh, I'm, you know, here's my one box that I'm moving out with, you know, with all of my stuff. And, you know, hey, I'm just telling the people that you know, that you moving out. Oh, okay. You know, like I just really, as an actor, I know acting when I see it, and I'm quite convinced that it is all a publicity stunt person.
Yes, though, right?
From media to media. Anybody else want to chime in on that?
I mean, have you guys really been following this whole thing prior to just seeing this one video, or is this the only video that everybody has
See,
seen?
this is the only, for me, this is the only video, only seen the last two. So I haven't seen the follow-up through the whole process. So
Okay, so the issue that I have is this. So this is not the first time that they've broken up. And the first time that they broke up, it was because he found out that Corey did porn prior to them dating or whatever. But he still stayed in the house because I think his house was getting renovated, or he was trying to find somewhere to live or something like that. So
Corey is the one. I'm sorry, Corey is the one that wants to be in
the
a
box
relationship. Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like Corey finally found a place to live at, and he moved out, and so they're breaking up. Like, I didn't think that the situation was real from the beginning, and it really doesn't seem like it's real now, because if I'm breaking up with you, one, I'm going to have more than one. I live there. I have more than one box of stuff there. That's one. Two, I'm not about to sit here and watch you videotape me bringing my one box out of your room to leave. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
You can't carry all the boxes at one time to be devil's advocate. You know what I mean?
But then you turn on the camera just to carry one box out.
But you don't have
that part
out of my room though. Like, what was in there?
Huh?
Yeah. I wouldn't open up the box.
It was nothing in the box.
It was an empty box.
It's like a relationship. Empty box.
Well, listen, whether it was a stunt to get a check, like, that's the times we live in, and I think it was genius. It was
a really good idea.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So kudos to y'all.
All right, so we're gonna put that where?
Back there.
Right there.
So, just for the record, I am one of Future baby mamas. I was added to the list. So I'm just letting y'all know, Future album went gold in a matter of 30 minutes. So I'm ready for my check. I'm just letting Future, the rapper.
He's his.
I'm one of the listed baby mamas. So I get an official
number 8.
No, I'm number 5.
You number,
get your
one of
these.
right. You're number 8.
five. So listen, there was a lot of stuff that we wanted to talk about on Hot Topic. So listen, Doja Cat and Nicki Minaj, for y'all Nicki Minaj fans in the room. Doja Cat and Nicki Minaj.
Y'all go ahead and talk. I'll be right back.
Billboard charts, being the first female rap duo to ever do it. Now the rumor is that Doja Cat went on TikTok and told everyone to make her and Nicki Minaj record go number 1, she'll show her boobs.
Well, no, she
showed it too, right? She showed it.
No, she didn't do it.
No, she did pull her titty. Yes, she did. She had a. It was a full areola. It was dark.
She made a video saying she wasn't going to do it.
And her titty was flat and long. Did y'all see it? I wasn't here for the flat long titty.
I'm not doing it.
What you trying to say?
Y'all already made me number 1. There's nothing y'all can do about it.
So, Jamesh, you trying to say they only went number 1 for the
Absolutely.
No talent.
Absolutely.
No talent.
I mean, that's your friend. I'll let you comment on that. That's your girlfriend.
talent these days is finding a brilliant way to get what you want, right?
You always talking about some untalented ass way to get what you want. Always ready for a quick come up. Go ahead.
I just want to see how long it's going to stay at number one. That's all.
That
Go. Here you go.
Yeah, well, your podcast
So
goes.
anyway, speaking of billboards, Tekashi also made records as well. Streaming got 2 million streams on YouTube, I believe. No, on Instagram, on iFeed. But I don't really pay attention to Tekashi. He just gives me like a male gay Harley Quinn, so I don't really feed into him too much. But what's really interesting about him is that no one's really talking about the history or the mark that he made. They're more so still talking about his whole snitching deal. You know, his code, going against his code and conduct for the streets. So I'm wondering, is there a gay code? Is there a gay code like I know we talked about bathhouses, you know, is there something to keep your mouth shut, or spilling the tea about the trade, you know, sex parties? Is there a gay code?
To a degree, I would probably think so. I mean, I look at it like if I ran into somebody someplace, not that I shouldn't have been, but that I was, that maybe a little bit taboo. Like, okay, we're both here, but for me to go and tell everybody, yo, I saw so and so, I might not care. But so it's sort of like I would probably be quiet about it. Same thing with the guys. Like, I'm not telling or showing photos of.
If I'm supposed to be there, I'm telling. If I ain't supposed to be there, I ain't telling.
You need to tell me, Alex, that if you go to a bathhouse and you run into somebody, you're not gonna go like, "Jim ass bitch, guess who I saw at the fucking bathhouse."
Okay, so if I have a close friend who I know won't leak a lot of information, I'll tell that. But it's like I never post any of the guys that I ever talked to, or other than where I used to work, certain of my friends that work with me would figure it out. But I'm not posting that person.
Because you don't want to fuck up your dick.
Because I don't want to what? Fuck up a check.
There you go. So Aaron, what's your take? Is there a gay code? Because y'all in Atlanta, so y'all know Atlanta is known for this whole just out and be free and messiness and all that other stuff. Which I don't think Atlanta is no different than what DC used to be when DC was the black gay mecca at one point.
I don't think that Atlanta is that different from anywhere. I think that we get the bad rap because most of black gay America is down here. But I mean, other than that, everything, the same stuff I seen here was in Maryland and DC. The same thing was in Ohio, and the same thing was in New Orleans. I mean, it was the same thing. So it's like, you know, I don't think
run into Atlanta is not the answer.
Yeah, I think people run down here to be free, and then they move on. It's like a transitioning place for some people. Because most people come from like smaller cities, and they have a chance to actually be free and out in who they are, and they, I mean, they do it here. I mean, I don't think that that's a bad thing. You know, a lot of times people are they can't be free at where they're from, you know, and when you get that opportunity to do it, you don't want to lose that. So, you know, I think that that's a good thing that Atlanta is known for that. I think that people should change the stigma about coming to Atlanta, because if this is the place where people feel like they're able to be free at, why is that such a bad thing?
Understood. Now, with that, I mean, is there still a gay code with everybody coming to Atlanta to be free?
I mean, I don't think it was a gay code. I think that it's pretty much what you guys are saying. I mean, you know, I think that a lot of times, especially, you just don't talk about what you do with people. I mean, definitely with your closest friends, you'll say, you know, if someone's in the room, you'll say something about it, or just give the heads up. So you ain't crossing paths with your close friends in your circle. But other than that, I think that's pretty much normal for everybody.
Did
I think code is subjective. You know, it just depends upon the information that, you know, that is being shared. Can you trust the information that's being shared, or do you just need to keep your mouth shut altogether? I mean, it's just, I don't think it's a gay code. I think it's just integrity in general.
Yeah.
Phil?
What?
You never
What's your
gay
gay
code?
code, girl?
What's your gay code, girl?
That's what it is. You do what you want to do. You want to tell, you want to tell. If you don't, you don't. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Because
The barbershops is watching. They ain't fucking with you, Phil.
Who gonna check me, boo?
he's not talking to you this week.
Who?
All right, so listen. Did everyone hear about Puffy making his statement about being able to black vote?
To
Be
be
able
what?
to.
Puffy got on the radio and or did an interview and basically did a stance against Biden, asking him to speak out or explain what does he have planned for the black community and its needs. And if he doesn't step up to the plate, that he is going to be the advocate to pull the black vote. I'm like, what? That's so asinine and retarded. It's
Does
like
he have
if
that
we
kind
don't.
of power?
No, hopefully
Well,
not.
hell no. Diddy ain't got
Like,
that much power.
Hopefully
I
not.
mean,
Yeah.
the kids ain't really looking for him in 2020. So I mean,
Exactly.
most of those younger version people probably don't even really know who that is.
They don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure don't.
But the
They may
thing
know
is
his
that-
son. They probably know his sons more than they know him.
Because
Yeah.
they probably don't associate him with those songs though.
But you gotta,
Yeah.
you have to appreciate him for wanting to use his platform and his power to kind of like get shit done, though.
Well,
But
Does
that's
he really
but
have
I
a
think that's
platform
actually
in
hurting us though. That's hurting us.
Yeah.
Because if you pull that black vote, then of course who's the person that's going to be in office?
Exactly.
You're going to keep Trump for 4 more years. So you can't have
But
that happen.
But I think also the reality of that is that he does not have, again, he doesn't have that kind of power. So his influence is not gonna
Sway.
deter or sway my vote. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So okay, just because you feel a certain way about the fact that Biden has not given his entire plan as a president, well, I mean, in this space and time, all we need to do is have a Democratic candidate first and
Right.
foremost.
Exactly.
Let's get him as the candidate first and foremost. Find out who his vice president is, and then let's talk about
And
what
then
in
let's
the
talk
debates.
about
Let's talk about what he's going to do for the
Mhm.
communities.
Which
Mhm.
they say his vice president needs to be a woman. So I know they ran down like a list, but it definitely is probably going to be a woman.
Yeah, which
but
is a good thing.
Even if it were Beyonce who made a comment like that, who may be relevant, who may have the power, that would be the worst thing that anybody could do to the black community is tell them not to vote.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, I think that the reality is that a lot of the younger generation doesn't feel like voting is important, period, because Trump is in office and they feel like they went and voted and he still won.
He's still, yeah.
So with Diddy saying that, I mean, with the older generation, are they going to follow him? I don't think so. I don't think that Diddy is even really relevant in 2020 to the point where if he feel like he's going to pull his vote, I mean, that's one vote. And he probably has a few friends that are probably going to look at him side on him, but I don't think that that's going to make a big impact on the vote, the black vote.
And he'll jump, and I think Diddy will eventually jump on the train. He's saying that now, but he'll eventually jump on the train when it's time to vote because he has no choice. It's a lesser of two evils. I know Biden ain't the best candidate, but at what point you got to vote? So
Now, what he should do is go ahead and kick his boyfriend out and give him a box and come out the room and make a video about him breaking it up, and then we can pull the vote because then he'll be relevant.
Do y'all think a lot of young people did vote in this past election?
I think a lot of young people voted. I think that because at the time, I know I was on the radio back when we voted, and I personally drove a lot of young guys to vote that weren't going to vote because a lot of those guys that were on those web series like about him and stuff like that, they weren't going to vote. And so, we talked to them about why they feel like it wasn't important and things like that. And because we talked to them, we drove them to vote. So I know they personally did vote. And they also went on social media and told their followers and their viewers to vote as well. So I do think a lot of them voted. But then when them voting didn't work, they did come back and say, this is why I didn't want to vote.
Because you know what? I feel like as a country, a lot of people, young or old, didn't really care this election. Maybe they didn't feel like they had a candidate that they could get behind. Even Michelle Obama mentions, if you guys saw her documentary that just came out, Becoming, her and her husband felt like it was a slap in the face that after them, it's kind of like nobody seems to care. Nobody's really doing anything. we're not progressing in the direction that we need to as a country. And this election, just as important as the last one, is kind of like if that man gets another 4 years in office, it's going to be like a bigger shitstorm than we're in already.
We have to realize that a lot of people didn't feel like we had any hope in anything when it came to the candidates that they were voting for. When Barack Obama was going up for presidency, we had we believed in him, even though he was, for some it was because he was black. A lot of people just really believed in what he believed in. And I remember at the time when he was going up for it, I was actually working for a magazine at that time. We had through like big parties with BET. I remember Mary J. Blige and Jay-Z and Beyonce and all of them were going out and they were actually campaigning, helping Barack Obama campaign to win. But when Hillary was running, a lot of people didn't want her to win, so they were torn as to what to do. And I think that we failed as people when it came to that, because what we should have done was stop looking at the flaws that she has, because all of them have flaws. We didn't believe Barack Obama's shit didn't stink because he was black, but we didn't feel like we couldn't stop looking at her flaws in order to get her into office, and we let Trump win. I mean, that's just the bottom line of all of it.
Yeah. I look at it like the best thing that was said to me is, if you don't, how did they put it? You may not be voting for Biden, but vote against Trump.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like you gotta vote, you gotta pick somebody, and don't let it be him again.
Yeah. I mean, and that's basically that's the fight that we're fighting.
Yeah.
Daily.
Yeah, well said.
So, speaking of Georgia, how are you guys enjoying your Governor Kemp?
You said, are we enjoying what?
Your Governor Kemp, because I just found out about this whole teenagers being able to get their driver's license without having taken the driver's portion of the exam, and now he has to retract the statement and make everybody take it. Like, what was they thinking?
And
So, go ahead, Gavin.
So he opened up the state, right? But there's a lot of controversy because the governor's mansion is still closed. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So why? And they say that it's closed due to everything that's going on, coronavirus and all that. Why open up the state and keep that closed?
So you have to kind of take it in consideration. Obviously, Georgia was the first state to open, and it was his decision to do so, primarily because of the economic system and trying to put money back into the system, so to speak. So he felt like it was necessary to open the state. Now, our mayor, Keisha Bottoms, obviously went public and said that she completely disagreed. Yeah, she completely disagrees with the governor's decision, but she can't. There's nothing she can do. So all she can do is kind of promote staying at home. And so a great example. I mean, obviously, I only go out to do essential things. So I'll go out to go to the grocery store to get what I need, and I'm back in the house. I'm back in this room, or I'll go over to Aaron's, because I trust Aaron and his space, and we do the podcast. That's all.
I'm not going nowhere.
Right. And so, that has been my routine for the past couple of weeks. And so I want to say today is Sunday, on Friday, I went out to grab something to eat, to go order. And I said, let me make a turn and go over to like Cheesecake Factory, grab some dessert. And I get to Cheesecake Factory and it is packed. Like people, they sitting down eating. There's people everywhere that they're doing outside orders. So like you can pull up to your car, you can pull your car in, they'll run the food out to you. But for the most part, people are in the restaurants like nothing is wrong. And I said, this is a serious situation.
Ethnically, was that black and white people?
Yes. Well, I mean, it's Cheesecake Factory, so it was mostly but for the most part,
they were more on your side. It was more than our side.
our skin, your kin.
Yeah,
But even I think the other day I went to AT&T because I had to switch from Sprint to AT&T, and I mean it was only 4 people in there, but it stopped me at the door. They would not let me come in. The lady came outside and she did most of the stuff that I needed to do before. She took me inside after everybody else left. But I think one thing we talked about on our podcast last week was, and if y'all have Atlanta viewers, they need to see this. Keep your ass out of Peapod Park. Just because they open that shit up on Sunday and 10 and Zocalo and all those other places are open on Sunday does not mean you need to go down there. And I think that's the biggest problem is.
Are the cases? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
These people here they want to be out so bad, and like to the point where Peapod Park is almost like you going to the club on Saturday night because there's so many people trying to be out at the park, and it's crazy.
Are they still wearing masks?
I mean, some people probably have a mask, but I mean, it defeats the purpose if you have a mask and everybody else doesn't. So the people with masks and people without masks,
it does,
are not equal.
I mean, are the cases in Georgia going up, or they still see it like flattening?
They haven't reported it yet. They just said that the chance has went up 40%, but they haven't reported any new cases since they've done that. Yeah.
Well, within the first week, there were over 1,000 new diagnoses.
Oh, wow.
Within the first.
Is that just in Atlanta, or is that throughout the state?
Every state that opened, they say is new cases.
Yeah, no, I mean it's specifically for
in Atlanta. Specifically, the first week that the state opened, quote unquote, there were over 1,000 new diagnoses of the virus.
Well,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
We're testing more now.
So when they said that,
I'm sorry, Gavin. Say that again.
You have to take into account that we are testing more now. So the more you test, the more numbers are going to go up.
But yeah, the more that the city opens up, the more that it's going to go up too, because you're being exposed to it more than you would have been.
Right.
The problem is that people can't take the time to sit down, stay in the house. I mean, it's not that important. Most of the people be complaining on social media before this happened, complain about not wanting to be out, and people inviting them and stuff, and they not going. Oh, I'm gonna think about it. I'm sitting at home, me at home underneath my blanket in the bed while y'all invite me out, stuff like that. But all of a sudden, it's very important for you to be out in everybody's faces. And to me, it's just crazy. It's like you talk about life or death. This is not like, it's a sickness that I can possibly pass.
Yes.
We're talking about life and death.
And especially if you have an underlying condition, you never know how that affects you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you also my aunt, she just went over to my grandmother's house. And I'm not a disrespectful person at all. And I didn't know who it was because one of my aunts said, somebody came over from mom's house without a mask. So I'm like, I'm going off in the group because my grandmother is important to me. And so I'm going off in the group. I'm like, I don't give a fuck who you are, whoever it is. First of all, don't let her in the house. But two, like, why did y'all let her do that? And my mom called me and she was like, you made your aunt cry. I said, listen, I'd rather her cry than all cry because my grandmother passed away from coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you also have to take into consideration the people that are complaining the most, or that I have seen on my social media. The people that are complaining the most are people that have miserable home lives, right? So you're in a bad relationship. You're in a relationship that you have not, that you haven't reconciled. You've got shit going on outside of your home, and so now you're forced to be in the house with somebody that you're not, that you're not, you don't like, let alone that you want to be in a relationship with.
So
and
basically,
so now
you shouldn't be in a relationship during coronavirus.
But I mean, these are marriages or these are relationships that were pre-existing prior to the pandemic. So now you're stuck in a situation where you have to kind of deal with the stuff that you've been putting off to the side for years. So
and you also have to realize that people got into bad relationships because it was taxes time coming around, and they was hoping to give that person with the tax money coming in, and then boom, coronavirus hit. Now you stuck with this person and the tax money. What you doing?
Your mic, like you start talking and we can't hear you.
Every time he starts talking, I can't hear you.
I don't know.
So Gavin, you seem to be a little perturbed in your face when they said the ones that want to be out all the time or once has to get out doesn't have a happy home life.
Yeah, no.
I like how he said to that.
Can y'all hear me?
I I can hear you. What you got to say to that?
No. You just categorize everybody in one box, and that was just wrong in my opinion.
Well, no, I didn't say everybody. What I said directly was people I've seen on my timeline that I know personally that have issues. That's what I said initially. I wasn't saying everybody.
He
Because I
did
know
say
everybody's
on his
situation.
timeline that he's seen.
See, you know what? For me, even if I wasn't in a relationship, I'm a natural introvert. So I'm cool being in the house.
Me too.
I can be my own company. I can make shit happen. I'm fine with that.
Me too.
You know,
And
I can exercise, go on my run, be alone.
The funny part is that people don't feel like I'm an introvert because I am always out, but I'm always promoting something. So I am always out, but I would rather be at home and not having to be in people's faces. So because I do have this time, I wake up when I want to wake up. I go to sleep when I want to sleep. I play video games all day. I work when I want to work. Like I'm on my own schedule. So I'm enjoying this whole entire thing.
I mean, we can also take it from the perspective of people that have not done introspective work on self.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're driving themselves crazy because they haven't had to spend much time looking in the mirror or being at home alone. You know, that's the other aspect of it. I don't want to, Gavin, for your sake, I don't want to categorize everybody in, you know, that relationship situations. You're welcome. But, you know, for those that, for those that don't know themselves, you see what I'm saying? Like you're having to spend time and trying to get to know. And I have told everybody that I've come in contact with that, you know, this time, you can't allow this time to pass without doing something that's going to enhance you as a person or enhance your future or enhance your business or enhance who you are. Because that, I mean, when are you going to get this time again? When you don't have to physically go anywhere. You don't have to, I mean, if you obviously everybody's applying for unemployment, so you're getting some kind of income coming in. You're spending about $50 a day. You know, if you go to the grocery store and grab what you need, so you're not really spending a whole lot of money. You can save money. You can work on your credit. You can do so many things to enhance who you are. You know,
I mean, and not to be ghetto and ratchet, but this is a really good time to work the system, honestly, because you have to realize if you can file for unemployment and you can get you some food stamps, you're not out of whatever you're bringing into your household at this point is for you. You know what I'm saying? And for creative people and people who have things that they really want to do, it's time to start saving your money. It's time to start that idea that you had in your head, start building that business. It's that time for you to do that stuff, but you're so concerned about going outside that you can't really take the time to do that. Like
to spend money.
I'm gonna preach that message because I want people to understand that we will never get this time again in our lifetime. This is such a great time, even though the circumstances are bad. This is a really great time for people that are creative or who have business ideas to take this time and build that business, because you can really not have to really pay for anything. Don't go outside your house. But I mean, most of us are going out every weekend and we're going to the club, we're buying the drinks, we're paying the fees to get in. That bill is not valid anymore. We're not paying that bill no more, because that's a bill we pay every week when the city opens back up. It's the club and those drinks, but we're not paying anymore. So we have a little bit more money that we normally have, but now we're stuck in the house. If you take this time to really invest in yourself and whatever it is that has been on your mind, and really think about it, because to me, I feel like this. Right now, the government controls your income, right? But think about, like for me, I wasn't worried about it because I have a website business. It's thriving now because people are at home. Now they're thinking about these new businesses. So I'm getting more money than normal because now people are spending money on trying to start their own shit. So I'm not worried about going back to work whenever this is over with, or when I'm gonna get another check, because that wasn't my mentality. And I think that people need to really start thinking about that, because I have control over my own income at this point.
I agree with you. Definitely an opportunity for you to kind of, really think about what it is that you want to do, where you're trying to go for the future, and begin to at least do an outline for your future. Figure out what it's going to take, what is it going to need. Talk to people, network. Everybody's home on a net. Just networking. A few questions. Just figure it out. Speaking of asking questions, since you guys are our guests, Alex has some questions that he wants to ask you guys for affairs of the heart.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Let's get to it. I need to fill up on
Definitely want to thank you guys once again. And I know we've been described lovingly labeled as the diet version.
Diet.
Yeah, I want to diet version, he called
I
us.
said the light version.
Yeah, a light version. We're very conservative, he says.
like
We Fox News, y'all CNN.
Would you say, I mean?
I said they CNN, we Fox News.
Exactly. I definitely want to say that I think that you guys have great chemistry on your show, and it seems really organic. How did you guys meet?
So I met Dwayne years ago. Actually, we've been friends for a few years. The way we met was how did we meet, Dwayne? Oh no, I first met. I was in a relationship, and my ex actually introduced me to Dwayne. And I remember Dwayne because Dwayne was on The Skinny, and I was like, that's the rapist, because he played the guy, the raped boy in The Skinny.
I remember that.
Okay. Now, Aaron, also again, because I do watch, you talked about one time you were going to what sounded like a sex party. I feel like you alluded to, you got a phone call. Apparently somebody out here got a huge dick, so they called you. And nobody takes it. So I'm wondering, what's the biggest reputation or walked away from, and what do you recommend to snap back?
Wait, say.
We're just gonna go to question 100, like real quick.
Oh no,
Right, pretty much.
See that Phil?
Sit and go.
The biggest you've ever taken or walked away from, and what do you recommend to bottoms to snap back?
Oh, this is a personal question for you.
Oh.
For me, yeah.
I got one too coming.
So I think that the biggest that I've taken was probably 13. This was one of my.
Wait, 13, Alex?
Hold on, but this is in my 20s though. I was young.
Oh, you had that snapback.
Okay.
So I have in my 30s. I don't think I've done. I don't think I've really explored size like that in my 30s.
Okay.
You did you enjoy that 13?
Huh?
Did you enjoy that 13?
I did.
No judgment.
But I think in my 20s, size was a thing that I wanted to I wanted to tackle this situation. And I think, even now, I think that I could probably do it, but I know my limitations. And I think that's what you're talking about from that last podcast. When I seen it, I was just like, this ain't my ministry. Like, I just can't. I don't think that I can do it. And I think I was kind of sober at the time too. So I really wasn't on it because I didn't want to feel the pain of that, from the beginning part. I think once it's in there, I'm good. But the first part for me is like a challenge. I hate that part of any sex, period. So
Started thinking about
and then I think the snapback thing is for me is that I just don't have sex afterwards for a while.
Okay. So when another one of y'all
So that means Alex, after it's not back to back. You gotta give it some time to chill.
Because I'm not trying to have a roast.
my snapback is amazing.
Okay.
Alex said when he turns 50, he will be able to sneeze and hold.
Forever. On one of y'all episodes, y'all were talking about baiters and edging and public sex. When it comes to public sex, gay Twitter, which we know Aaron got a secret account out there, especially because all this stuff we see is happening in Atlanta, is there anything that y'all feel like is, wow, that was way too far?
So I do have a story that I think that was way too far for me.
Okay.
I met this guy here. He's a really famous person as well, too. And I went to his house. We were talking about me doing some website stuff for him. And the conversation turned sexual. And he told me that he wanted me to come back in a few days and not take a bath. And I was like, okay, I'm not really understanding. So I went back over there, but I still took a bath. And I went back over there, and he was mad at me because he was like, well, I wanted to eat your ass, but when I eat ass, I want to eat it, and when I come back, my face should be brown. I said, thank you for your services. I'm a head out.
Looking back, you was like, damn, I should have did that.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not into that. I'm not into that.
You're
And
not
then
into
you
the
want to
shit.
kiss you afterwards.
The shits.
Yeah, I'm not
Ain't
into the shit.
anything for you?
Honestly, I leave the
Come on,
crazy stuff.
conservative. Come on, conservative.
I am the most honestly.
Now you're a flight attendant, right?
Yes, I am.
Oh.
Sure you got,
Oh.
I'm sure you
Now-
got some stories.
The most that I would do, because we're not talking about my abroad experiences. We're talking about Atlanta. So honestly, the most I would do is like the bathhouse here, and I
it's
don't
not
even.
so much what you would do. Maybe you were somewhere, and if people are having public sex, we know they do. Did you see something where it was like, okay, y'all are about elementary school, or this was like, okay, that's not hot. That was a little too much.
I mean, aside from street walking and like pulling people, from different areas and doing certain situations, or even doing it in the club, other than that, I am the conservative. I'm sorry. I am. I'm not the one that's going to be out there in the streets like that, because I have I'm the rapist from the skinny. I can't do that. Like I can't, I'm just not that type of dude. Now, again, as much as I would go to the bathhouse and and that's more for like luxury and relax and like just be free. It's not really about a sexual experience for me per se, but it's more or less like, I'm just going to the pool to be naked, or I'm going in. Right, I'm going to the sauna.
It's really like a real nudist experience. Like, for real, honestly, if you think about it, like, people think about the bathhouse as this whole sex cult thing, but to me, I do like it because,
every city, they wouldn't be set up the same.
Oh, you know that.
yeah.
There's no.
And I'm gonna tell you, and I've been to every city that I've lived. Every time I visit somewhere, I always go to the bathhouse to see what it is like. The one that's here in Atlanta I won't name it because I want to promote them, but the one that's here in Atlanta, I do like it because it's really a laid back situation. It's not really that much. I rarely even see sex unless it gets real late, like people, the drinks or the drugs kicked in. But it's really like a laid back time where you're in the sauna or you're in the pool or you just, you're hanging out, but it's just like a nudist thing. It's like going to Miami and going to Hollover Beach.
Okay. So let's see. I guess as gay men, we often explore our sexuality and sometimes can be persuaded to try new things. What's something that you guys have not done, but you think you want to try at least once?
You sent this question. I thought about this for a very long time.
Gavin, we talked about that.
Huh?
Gavin was
Yeah, I think I've experienced everything I wanted to experience.
Gavin, did you have something that you need to experience?
No, I just thought maybe he probably wanted to try fisting, because he did 13 inches, so maybe fisting was next.
That sounds like a personal fantasy that you have. I mean, you bring it up a lot in our personal conversation, and now you're bringing it up again today.
Oh, okay. That's what we're doing. Yeah, everybody, I want to get fisted.
So the gay code is out the window.
Then he bring it up on the podcast too, Dwayne.
No.
So we did talk about no, not his podcast. No, we talked about
when
it.
he came on our podcast, then he talked about fisting on that too.
I don't recall. Did you talk about?
I think he talked about it on that too.
No, that wasn't me.
I think I'm gonna go back and listen to it, but I think you did. You're very interested in fisting.
So you think I want to get fisted? You think
How many fists can you take?
You think I have a problem with getting fisted if I wanted to?
I think you want to be fisted more often.
I've never got fisted. Let's put that out there. I've never got fisted.
Don't play with me on here, because I will come. I got time.
And she's talking about she made by God. Take it 13.
In my 20s. You talking about it in your 40s?
Oh,
Hey. Who are they 40s over here?
Child, you know, I don't know what you may be a certain age in your life, but that whole is a different age.
A woman of a age.
That thing's been going out.
Now you know you got more
that's
experience.
very aged cheese.
How many piss can you take?
Alec.
Dwayne. Try to help y'all get off the fisting.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
I haven't asked yet. It's been mentioned that you are, and I know y'all did the whole, are you a soft top, this top, blah, blah, blah. Verse top is where I'll just say is out there.
Yeah.
What is it about, I guess, a guy that would make you feel like, oh, I want him to fuck me instead?
I've had a lot of thought behind this answer because I get asked that quite often. Like, what is it that makes me want to bottom?
Come on, convertible top.
Did you say convertible?
Convertible.
Shut up, Aaron. Don't you write that down.
I ain't gonna break up your booty, cat.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I honestly, it just has to be. I try to describe it this way, and I don't even know if it's the correct way to describe it, but like there has to be like a level of connectivity, obviously, that we have. But then there's like a maybe like even a higher level of masculinity than I have. I don't know if that's the proper way to say it. It's really mental for me. I can't just let
a woman give it up.
I'm sorry, what?
If he makes you feel like a woman, then you'll give it up.
It's not even about feeling like a woman. It's more or less like,
Just
you know,
masculinity to you.
That doesn't mean that it diminishes my masculinity. It doesn't mean that I'm a woman. It just means that like you have a more kind of an overpowering personality or presence, and a dominating presence. Thank you. Then I would say that would be no. That doesn't mean I'm a woman. No. Let's spell that right there.
You don't get all moist and all soft. You just want to melt
easy to go in.
His masculinity. You just want to melt and lay into it.
When he got you on your back and you laying there in missionary, you ain't feeling like cunt.
No. And you know what reminds me that I'm not a cunt is the fact that I still have to hold these legs back because I'm really thick, so I can't. Like this is a hard. It's a hard. I'm still a dude. Like this is a hard situation. I'm not flexible. We're not about to do these splits and these turns. Listen, I still gotta hold these legs. So yes, I'm still a dude, and we're gonna work through this. But I mean, it's just a matter of. It's for me personally. It's really mental. I don't allow anybody just to climb my back. I'm not going to do it just for the sport. Like it has to be, I have to want to do it and I have to want to give that side of myself to you. I'm not going to just willingly do it. And so, I say verse top because I prefer to top, but I mean, there is a chance that if we cross that space, then I'll allow it.
So you're entertaining a guy at home and y'all chilling, y'all drinking, y'all having a conversation. There's a time that clicks, yo, I'm gonna get this man the pussy. There's a time that comes, I want to give him some ass.
It depends. It depends on the person, and it depends if I'm coming. For me, also too, I'm not I understand the ins and outs of preparation, but that's a whole nother aspect of the situation. Like I'm like because I don't trust my body. Because I have a whole. I personally have,
going on.
Yeah, I have a lot going on, and so I'm like, if I'm gonna prepare, I have to properly prepare so that I trust that we're gonna have a good situation, and it's not gonna be nothing to talk about later on. And I want to fully make sure that because I'm not one of those that be like I'm not one of those that's like I know my body, I'm good, and then 45 minutes in we got a problem. So
you can fuck for 45 minutes.
Now listen, let me say this. Let me say this. I know what I'm capable of. So I have no problem talking about what I'm capable of and what I can do. So it's
And he's an edger.
But when you're doing it
I am
right,
an
you're
edger.
thinking about the time.
So
No.
but really though, like you like when you do bottom, you can get fucked for 45 minutes.
As long as I don't come, which it just depends upon, it depends upon who's doing it. Like if it's good, because I'm more of an intimateist. Like I prefer intimacy. You're not about to bang me out, and I'm not about to be over here talking about sweating and hollering and all that. No, I need to have that. I need the intimacy
She will be like
to,
a woman.
you know.
You're not gonna fuck me.
Yeah.
You had to shake it a little bit.
Yes, I'm not. No, you're not about to run up in this. We're not about to do this doggy style all night long. We're gonna switch positions. We're gonna have, we're gonna have an intimate experience. This is not.
You want rose?
Ass is not just some ass to have.
You want rose petals on the bed and everything.
Oh no, because somebody got to clean that shit up. No,
wait,
I don't want a rose petals.
Hold on, I gotta put this on the charger. Hold on.
No,
You're not prepared.
For me?
No.
No, I'm prepared. I got a charger. I can put you on my phone.
All right, so another question there that we got you guys at our virtual table, and some of our viewers may actually want you in their beds. When a guy gets you in the bedroom, the park, or an abandoned house front porch where the grass is,
Stop listening to this podcast.
listen.
what does sex sound like? Are you quiet fucking? Are you moaning? Are you talking shit? What do you need to hear to get you off?
Macaroni.
I'm definitely talking shit.
As the
I mean, but if it's in a quiet space like the front porch of an abandoned house where the grass is tall, I mean, that was a very silent situation because people were walking past and things like that. So
The car was parked, right?
the car was parked.
Dwayne, you ever fucked on a plane?
On the plane, not fucked. No,
Can y'all see me? No, I can't see this.
You did, but
no.
you sucked or got sucked.
I have had some jack sessions in the back of the plane a few times.
Now, were these people that you just met, or were these like coworkers?
Well, ideally for my coworker, you meet them for the first time.
Well, yeah.
When the way that it works is I don't obviously work with the same people all the time, and it's the way the rotations are set up. It's filtered with people, and you don't know who they are initially until you meet them in briefing an hour before the first flight takes off. And so if there is some kind of attraction or connection that happens, it happens more often than not initially in that beginning stages. And then you also have to keep in consideration that, at the end of that first day, we're at a hotel with whatever, as long as we show up for the band time in the morning, whatever you decide to do in the interim is your business. So
within that first leg, you're hooking up, or like, do y'all go on an overnight together and there's an attraction and then y'all do it again?
I have had experiences where you meet in that initial time frame, and you're with each other all day. Regardless of how many flights you have, and then you have a layover. Generally, it's like a 3-day situation. So the first leg or first day, you have, you're with each other, and you stay over somewhere at the end of that night, and then you have another night with each other because you stay over the next day, and then the third day is like go home day. So it just depends upon, there may be flirting back and forth, and you may get to the second day and be like, oh well, let me see what's up. It has transpired like that.
I was with American for 11 years, so
Oh, so you're asking questions you already know.
Mm-hmm.
I want your,
Basically.
I want your,
Oh, okay.
At what point did y'all get to the fisting?
at the who? For some reason.
So has Corona slowed your sex lives down any?
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm the type of person that would prefer to jack off before I get into a whole intimate situation with somebody else anyway, because I can just do that and go to sleep. So no, for the sake of the conversation.
Cool. Well, those are my questions from our table.
So now,
I'm sorry, y'all.
Were we a little hotter than usual for you guys?
Oh no, this was elementary in comparison to some stuff Aaron comes up with. Look, there are often times when we do the show, and I have to be like, really? Oh my god,
Sometimes
I don't even know how to.
I will say sometimes it's like, should we really post this? Like,
now as soon as we get Amin back in here, we're going to have questions from our viewers for you guys,
Okay.
everybody actually. So as soon as he get his system up and running, we can proceed forward with the show. So we just at a standstill. Should we go to
can we
commercial?
next take a bathroom break?
Should we go to commercial? Go to commercial.
Because I would love to take a bathroom break.
Recording, Phil will get you.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you probably have to start your video.
I don't know why is all. I mean, don't go nowhere. He don't do nothing, but he always has the most trouble.
I did that Wi-Fi system that he got.
Who's your carrier?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
He's streaming from his phone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So
I can't hear y'all.
But we need.
we can hear you.
Hold up.
You're a little wet. Oh, a lot wet.
A little wet, lot wet.
Low wet, loud wet.
It's raining out of his armpit.
That's where I get wet. I don't get wet down there. I get wet right here. That's not sexy.
No, never.
Get wet down there too. Don't even try it.
I don't get wet down there.
As soon as Daddy say your name the right way, you're like, yes.
Did you take the top bottom quiz?
I don't have. I did. Yeah,
What were you more top?
it was more top. Little bit more top. What are you? What's that, Matt?
It's like a nude, little nude something.
You pulled it together real quick because I had talked to you 10 minutes prior to the show where you was looking like who done it.
You know, when I'm out driving, I try to be very low key with the people. It don't always work, but I try.
Where's
So
my
you waiting to find that abandoned house with the grass is tall?
God, I might have found it.
What happened to that abandoned house with the grass was tall?
I might have found it.
Where the fuck is Amin at again?
Lyft and Uber drivers, there's some shit in these streets.
Listen, Lyft was experience.
I didn't like it.
No?
I did it for about 2 months and I was like, I don't like driving. So
I love driving.
I like talking to the different people. I don't like everybody who gets in my car, but no.
you had them.
I actually wish I was doing it now because it would be a really great way to market the podcast.
It would be. You can have it playing on the little computer screen in the back.
Or just when you're talking to people, like a lot of times, a lot of people who get in the car with you are entrepreneurs, so they have their own thing going on. And that's how I get a lot of my website business when I was driving Lyft.
Yeah. I met another girl. They had a podcast. I told y'all about them. They follow us now. We follow them. We'll figure out a time for them to come on and do something a little collab.
Well, while we're waiting for Amin to log back in, do y'all have any questions for us, or anything that y'all wanted to
I mean, I can come up with some.
just make it a little interesting, while we're waiting for Amin and.
Yeah, let's hear it, Spicy.
Oh,
I mean, how far are we going here? Because I have questions.
Like jalapeno, or how spicy you trying to go?
Dwayne really does this. I just want to let y'all know.
Turn Jamez red.
I really do what?
Ask these questions, and then he leaves me on the cliff with them.
He wants you to be the whore of the show.
And then he'd be like, and I'm like, what about you, Dwayne? Oh, I was just asking you.
Yes.
I am the interviewer.
Basically, the podcast. But he's been giving us more recently, though.
Well, that story about
his experience with Christy.
I was going to say that story about Christy. Really, I was kind of convicted. Like, I don't really share too much about my own personal life. I need to kind of talk about it a little bit more.
So I hear you guys reaching a lot of viewers with your podcast. How's that been going for you guys? And
That's been doing very well actually. And it's funny because like my friends that live here will be like, dang, every time I go out, like people are talking about y'all's podcast. And I'm like, normally even when I went to Mardi Gras, like people were stopping me to talk to me about the podcast. And I'm like, people listen to this podcast like that. And for me, it's been very therapeutical for me because it's like I can just kind of be free on it. I've been doing radio stuff for so long, and there's been limitations to what you can talk about. So with the podcast, it's just like that's probably why I'm so free on it. Because I can really I have control of what I talk about, and nobody can say we can't post this or we can't talk about this. But just the viewers, like, I mean, I think we get like subscribers on YouTube every day. Our listening base has been going up every week. Like we went from like 10 to 20 to like 50 to like now we're like at 100 people that are coming every week.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
you know what I've noticed too, that I remember when I was down in Atlanta, you had people coming up to you say, hey, I'm a fan of the show. I'm a fan of the show.
Oh yeah.
I've gotten that too here in Philly. People don't really like the show, show their support in public. They don't like when you post something, they don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't really show in your numbers, but people are still watching because, like I said, they come up to me and say, hey, and you would have never known that they was watching, a fan, you know what I mean?
Well, I think one thing that me and you had talked about was the difference between the audio and the visual.
Mm-hmm.
And the audio community is different than the visual community.
Yeah.
Because the audio people, they are committed to you.
Yeah.
And so especially when it comes to podcasting, because it's not a live thing, like we have a guy who literally, he listens to the podcast and then he will respond to the podcast on YouTube because he can't respond on the audio. And he will like write long dissertations about what he thought about each one. Like last time, I think I had talked about this guy that I peed in his mouth. And yeah, he drank the pee. And so the dude was talking about how nasty it was and all this stuff. But he's committed to the show. Like no matter what we talk about, he's there every week. That's why I was telling you that when you guys do your podcast, y'all should do the audio and the video version of it because you will see the spike in the viewers come from that audio version.
Don't we still have the Spotify and YouTube, Phil? Is that the audio that you mean, Aaron?
We have the YouTube, and I do sometimes the Spotify when the audio is not messing up, but we'll get it together because we'll get it together.
But yeah, I got into the car with one of my best friends yesterday, and he was like, "Man, Snapchat is crazy because every time I get on Snapchat, it's porn, y'all's podcast, porn, y'all's podcast." Like people are sharing it like that.
You guys on Snapchat as well?
Yeah, actually what I do is when the podcast is released, I go through every person that's in my Snapchat and I share the link to the podcast.
Okay. Yeah, I do see that. Well, hopefully, I think Amin is trying to join us now. Ready for...
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to join on my iPad, but for some reason it was saying that I was removed from the iPad or something.
Yeah, we're ready for you.
All right. All my questions are actually on my phone, so.
Come on, Gail.
My bad. You guys, my motherfucking bad. But this segment is talks from other people's table. So these are questions that our viewers submit to us, and we address them on the table. So we just had a few that came in during this social media quarantine. So, all right, the first question we have, since you've been quarantined, how many bodies have you had?
Alex, that's for you.
How many bodies?
Bodies.
I guess that's for D.
That's what?
For me.
That's for Alex.
You the convertible?
For me.
Hey, for me.
Oh no.
I mean, that's
No.
you.
Alex?
How many bottoms have I had?
Yeah.
0. I blow goals 0.
Alex, you ain't fucked nobody since you've been quarantined.
A bottom?
Never.
No.
Bodies.
I mean, body.
Oh, bodies.
Bodies.
A
Bodies.
bottom.
No, how many bodies have you had?
Oh, bodies. I thought you said bottoms. That's what I was saying.
No.
Oh, bottom. Okay, then this.
Gotcha. 2.
Okay, not bad.
2.
They ain't bad. She supposed to be social distancing.
But she got those that she trusts.
Yeah.
It was so
True,
oh, it was
true,
social, all right.
true.
You have your consistent people. You know, you can trust them who you can.
That's it.
True. Did he wear a mask or no?
He wore a gag, not a mask.
The thing is, I feel like it might be a little costumey, which could be cute, but you know, there's no need in covering what you need to use.
The mouth.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's kind of paused, like,
Okay.
yeah. So what's the point of this?
I mean, you
How
could put
much
a hole in the mask just for, you know.
That's called a glory hole.
I'm gonna get
Excuse me?
What you know about a glory?
Glory.
Well, I do a lot of porn.
Porn.
You do?
Oh yeah, I was about to say you
That's
do a lot of porn.
Y'all already know I don't fucking do porn because I be.
What's the
said you do a
link?
lot of porn.
I mean,
You just said you do a lot
What's
of
the
porn.
link?
I mean, I watch a lot of porn.
His
No.
Twitter handle. I'll send you his Twitter handle, y'all.
Why you got it?
You seemed a little upset about why you had it.
I can critique my friend. And
My sister, why she got my porn handle?
be like, your ass,
One more
your
time.
ass wasn't angled right
Literally.
on this last video you just posted. I think you need to put some more light in this whole area so they can really see what's going on.
Maybe you should fuck for 45 minutes.
Maybe you could fuck for 45 minutes, bitch. or maybe you do.
Mm-mm.
All right, y'all. Let me go to the next question. So, why is it so difficult for Black gay Americans in this culture to be themselves?
To be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people just don't really want to. I think people are afraid to be themselves. I don't think that it's just gay people. I think it's period, especially when you're Black. It's hard to because you want to meet so many different criteria and standards of people that you portray your different person in front of different people.
I think people try to fit in the box that people expect of them. People expect you to be this, so I'm going to portray myself this way. Like, just live your life, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. But I mean, you also have to think about what they're doing. I mean, because just thinking back to, being married to a pastor, you had to be different people all the time. I think that a lot of people did that. I didn't really do that because for me, I was like, listen, y'all gonna get what y'all get. And this shady bitch over here, wherever you at on this camera, was the same way.
No, it wasn't that.
But you came into the church and sat in the back and didn't talk to us until we talked to you.
I didn't know y'all.
You know what I'm saying?
I had to protect.
We got what we got.
I had to protect my spirit.
That sounds very Gavin-like.
It was very. I mean, he's like that. But as time went on, I understand how he is as a person, and I think that me and him are very much alike because it's like if I don't want to talk to you, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not an outgoing person where I'm going to be like, oh hey, welcome. I'm going to be like, if you talk to me, I'm going to talk to you. If you don't, I won't.
Mm-hmm. Basically, got a portrait photo. How come we got a portrait photo? Oh, there you go.
Of me?
No, Jamesh, he had a portrait photo.
You like that better?
I think for some people, it's just not always popular to be who you think you want to be. I think even as grown-ups, a lot of people are still afraid to do something that they think they would enjoy because it may not be the popular thing. Just going off of like what Aaron said, the guy who didn't want him to take a bath before he came. May not be the popular thing, but that guy, that's what he's into. So he's stepping out there, and I'm sure, I know he's not the only one like that. But
Yeah, he's not, because I'm gonna tell you this. What he told me was this. He said that normally when he has parties at his house where it's shit all over the walls, so he ain't the only person that's there.
Ooh.
So he don't even clean it up.
So he
They
like
just
the
like
smell.
they
They like the smell of
they like that. What's the terminology for it? Where you like shit?
scat.
Scat. Yeah, they like scat.
Oh.
So,
And this is a black
but
guy.
he said it's like, and he said the only reason why he
Don't
didn't
be
do it
racist, Alex.
at his
Well,
house
no,
is
I
because
do
he had
feel
just
like
moved there.
there's a difference sometimes, not always, but a lot of times there are. The guy I'm thinking of is also black, but I think there's
Yeah, this is the black
You
guy.
like
that's
scat
talking
too?
about it.
that
You
white.
like scat too?
He was
What?
black.
I mean,
You like scat too?
the person I'm thinking of, yeah.
Oh.
You got scattered on the nigga?
No, I didn't even entertain
Never.
it.
That's some nasty ass shit.
I'm not into it, so I cannot entertain that.
So you don't smell your own shit in the bowl after you
I
done?
use poopery. There's a poopery at every toilet in my house.
I've been paid to deliver some scat, so.
I've been paid to pee in people.
Oh, so you was
Pee in or pee on?
Pee in and on.
Ooh.
escorting out in the streets.
Should you just say you was paid to scat?
I'm just saying, so you was escorting out in these streets.
I wasn't escorting. Actually, I went over there. See, I get the worst. I get the worst. I get the worst text messages while we doing shit like this. Somebody just text me, "What did he cream on you? Was it lube?" I'm like,
Oh wait, are you live or something?
no.
Oh, okay.
People just text me crazy shit
Oh, that's
on the
right.
podcast.
Well, you know what's also funny is that people will text us in real time as they're listening to the podcast. Now we have recorded the podcast and it's over and done with, and people will text us in conversation of what
Like
they're
play by
listening
play.
to. Yeah, and we're like, "Bitch, what are you talking about? Like what?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm listening to your podcast." Well, bitch, I'm not listening to my podcast.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Cool. But
But yeah,
So-
I think that the water sports thing is a really big thing in the community for some people. Because I've gotten a lot of people who really wanted to do that. And I think after we talked about it on the podcast, I've been getting hit up about it a lot more.
So for the water sport thing, for me, like obviously I don't enjoy being pissed on, but there's a certain, I like kind of like demeaning somebody, and you know.
I think that's what it is for me too. Like, don't pee on me. And like, none of this has to happen on me, but if you like it, we can do it.
Yeah.
so do you do anything afterwards? So after you piss, does anything else happen?
Well, no, we're not.
afterwards?
If I like the guy who I peed in his mouth, we definitely did not kiss after that. Actually, I didn't kiss him before that because I knew he liked it, which means somebody else pissed in his mouth.
Did you let him suck your dick?
He ate my ass.
She said, "Eat this ass, don't suck my dick."
I mean, that's a requirement for me, though. So,
Okay.
Phil, you just mentioned the demeaning thing. I don't know if you saw one of our friends to the show had posted something like, "I want to come on your face and send you to the store to get chicken wings."
I saw that, and don't wipe it off.
Yeah.
I saw
Is
what
that
happened with chicken wings?
so?
was that a friend to the show, B?
Yeah. Had posted something on his Instagram like, "I want to nut on your face, don't wipe it off, but I'm gonna send you to the store to get me some chicken wings."
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like, well, and I didn't even think of the word demeaning. I had kind of put humiliation, but I'm like, well, what is that you're into? Because it's like you want me to keep nut on my face so everybody know what I do.
So let's go here for a second, okay? Because I'm a fan of nut. I'm okay with that. But just because it's on your face, I mean you can't rub it in where it's not visual.
He wants the residue. He wants people to know.
He wants to drip.
That it's on you while you in.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can go to the store and do that, but I'm not. That to me is it sounds hot though to me.
To go to the store but not on your face?
I mean, I would never go back to the store after that, but yeah.
What do you get? What do you get out of going to the store?
I just think that I mean I think it's more of it's just like a
The thrill, the thrill, the fetish.
Yeah.
I think
Like
there's
the
a
fact
fine
that
line between
Seeing everybody else reaction to it.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
there's a
like,
fine line between
you got
humiliation
something
and pleasure.
in here.
look, y'all, I just got nutted on.
Yeah.
No, I don't know about that one. Yeah, that's a little extreme for me.
I
There's
mean,
a fine line.
you only live once.
I mean,
Why not?
You do.
I mean, do you like it when a girl's nut in your face?
The girls don't nut in my face.
Most of the time they can't.
How much
help
nut
it.
did you take on your face? How about in your mouth?
Ooh, you sound
Well,
angry.
they fisting him, so they can't really nut.
You sound angry.
The fist don't nut.
What'd you say?
The fist don't nut, so they don't really nut.
That 13,
Oh, yeah,
that 13
yeah.
inches.
You know you gotta get that fist lubed up though before she go in.
Yeah, they probably got a creamy arm, but that's it.
Y'all hate on this body.
What would you
Y'all can't see it for this.
do, Mazra?
Say that again.
You going to go buy some stuff to bake a cake with nut on your face?
No, ain't nobody disrespecting me like that. Ain't no.
You know what? So you know what I would do is like I would go to like a sex store or something. I wouldn't go to the grocery store with nut on my face, but I would go to like a sex store or something like that with it because they wouldn't look at me like, what the fuck? Like they would look at me like you had a good time or whatever. Like the people that work at the sex store are very open to seeing things. Like I mean, to me, I feel like they're open to out of the box kind of things. But I wouldn't like go to my mom's house and nuts on my face or nothing like that. You know what I mean?
No, the statement specifically mentioned going to get chicken wings. Like you got to go to the.
Well, I go to the
corner
drive-thru
store.
and get chicken wings. You wouldn't see nut on my face. So
First of all, ain't no nigga, excuse me, gonna tell me to walk around with no goddamn nut on my face to appease him.
it depends on the nigga.
Certain niggas can get it.
Certain niggas, I mean, shit. I'll go in there and I'll get your chicken wings with that nut on my face.
No, it's a fine
Not the
line
motherfucking
between
chicken wings.
it's a fine line between humiliation and pleasure. There's a fine line.
But now, if the other person wants to do that,
but you have to actually be humiliated from it, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not some. It may be hot to you.
yeah.
So you will go to the market just dripping nut like out in your beard
It
hair.
depends on the man.
But I'm just saying you would go to the fucking
It
market.
depends on the man.
So yes, okay.
I mean, you would get fisted.
Don't put that out. I mean, on to the next question. Thank you very much. You don't have people out there thinking that that's the thing with me. So you say it enough, they believe it.
Ooh.
What?
All right. The next question we have, y'all. Do you have a gag reflex?
Yes.
Gag reflex.
I don't suck dick like that.
Not a gag reflex.
You said you don't do it. You said you don't do it often.
I don't suck dick really at all.
That's something you and Phil have in common.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
You just don't like it?
Where's ladies?
You're not good
So
at it.
so this is funny. We had this conversation with my friends last night. I don't like doing it because most guys are so aggressive with it, and it's not a pleasure moment for me. So I hate doing it.
Is that like when you say aggressive, like if they want to fuck your face?
Basically, or like they trying to force it down. When you throwing up and shit on it, like I don't like all that. I'm not into that.
I like to watch that during porn. That gets me off.
I don't watch porn like that, so I'm not about to watch. I don't want to throw up on a dick. I don't want to suck your dick to the point where it's not pleasurable for me. So I don't really suck dick like that.
To see a guy force his dick in somebody's throat and just like face fucking the shit out of somebody.
Why'd you move your camera down like that?
You want to see that tight lip he made?
I'm like, is somebody doing this now?
Nah, that's hot though. to see somebody like
Being the person that you're trying to do it to, though, is not.
you tried. You've been face fucked before.
I have been. That's why I said I don't like doing it.
Yeah, we tried it all.
Or when they're like
You said
doing
she
it
tried it all.
and they're upside down and it's like, and you're throwing, they're fucking you, but you throwing up and they still going at it like, don't stop. Like,
That's
it
not
just,
Alex, you.
That's
oral sex is not.
You moving and dancing. You said oral sex. I'm sorry, Aaron. What you say? Oral sex is not what?
I said oral sex has not been great for me at all.
I mean, you said she moving and dancing.
Yeah, she like moving like real like smooth with it. What's up, Alex? You got something to say?
I enjoy
You don't
it.
have no gag. You don't have no gag reflex.
He said he's enjoying it.
Like, I really like it.
It make your hair jump.
I'm curious, Alex. What do you like about it? Like, what is it?
Everything.
What is it that you get out of sucking a big dick?
Well, okay. The right size of it, it's like it's there. I like when he makes the noise that you know you're doing a good job. I have a gag reflex, but I can get a good bit of it depending on the size, like into my throat. I don't like if they are like aggressively fucking my throat, like you would fuck a person. But when it's right, it's right. It's like it's good. I enjoy it. Everything about it.
Good. I enjoy it.
So from lip to the back of your throat, how many inches you think you can get in there?
Is he counting?
What's that? A good amount.
Was you just counting?
She was. She had to draw it on a piece of paper.
Now, what I will say is I don't, and we've discussed this on the show, I don't like a small penis. Not that I'm a size queen about it, but if you have a small penis in somebody's mouth, like there's nothing really to hold on to, so you know it's there, but it's not doing much of anything.
So I agree with you on that, especially when it comes to sex period, because I have a big ass. So small dicks just doesn't do nothing for me. Like, it's like if you have 6, I'm only gonna get 3 of those. So I need more than that.
But you got 3 inches of ass that they need.
I probably do. My aunt just said to me, I was like, I'm buying a bike. She said, well, don't get a regular seat because you got too much ass for a regular seat.
Now, when you buy your clothes, do you buy clothes to accentuate your curves?
I have to buy pants that stretch. I can't wear regular pants unless they're big and they look baggy at the bottom.
So you wear tights and shit.
That's not what I said. I said I buy pants that stretch.
Tights and shit.
When you get fisted, do you get hands that fit, that stretch, or are they the same size?
Oh, I like something that's going to stretch this hole.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not a lot.
Oh.
You can't take this hole.
So what happens when you're having sex? Because if you're getting fisted, what size dicks do you like?
So we're gonna. She don't get fisted. Don't get fisted.
At least not while we're on this.
Box, Phil.
Not while we're on this podcast.
Forearm.
She got an obsession with this hole. You want some of this hole? Because you obsessed with this hole.
Who you talking about, me? I mean, I can give you a fist.
Ooh.
I need 2.
I'm definitely not a top boob, so I ain't doing that.
I need 2
I mean,
fists.
I can give you a fist though if you like that. You know, I'm down for it. My friends always should be happy.
So you gonna lend me a fist?
I got 2.
So, what's next?
So that's it for us as far as our questions. We only got a few questions this week, so we've been on quarantine.
So I have a few questions for you guys.
Oh,
Shoot.
the table's turned.
So when it comes to sex, like, what's the farthest that you guys would go?
Huh?
What's the farthest you guys would go with sex? Like, what's the freakiest thing you think you've done?
I'm very vanilla, so don't actually.
Well, we know you are. Besides the fist.
I feel like this is a question, like when somebody says, are you freaky, that I still don't understand. So people might say, like, do you dress up? To me, that's not necessarily freaky. I would just think that somebody has a fetish for seeing men in women's underwear. Is that like a freaky thing? Is that what you mean?
So when I say freaky, I mean like when it comes to having sex, like, or is it just penetration? Are you into like, you know, water sports, scat? Are you into fisting? Things like that. Like there's just kind of things that you normally can do.
So you know I'm editing all of that shit out, right?
Okay. We have a podcast we record this week too.
Excuse me?
We have a podcast we record this week too.
Are you recording too?
Yeah, we're recording. Well, not this, but we'll record this week. So we'll talk about you getting fisted.
We'll be hearing from my attorney.
While you came on our show acting like you was like, oh, I don't do this, I don't do that. Oh, I'm very vanilla. But now you getting fisted. So I didn't know that.
Well, you'll be hearing from my attorney.
And you'll be hearing from all the men that you got fisted from.
Okay.
I probably feel in that regard because I'm not a water sports person. I'm not scared.
Like what you fucking apart? Are you a voyeur? Is it a Voyager, Dwayne?
Voyager, I love to watch. I'll definitely do that.
Okay.
So if that's freaky, then yeah, add that to my list.
You like to watch
what? Okay.
What?
You like to watch what?
People have sex.
Like a live sex?
Mm-hmm.
I want to do
voyeur.
I've never done that. Like
we've talked about that on the show before.
Okay.
Oh, I got another question for y'all. Have y'all made sex tapes?
Never. I made one. I
haven't.
We've talked about this on the show too. I have not, but I do want to see what it looks like when it's happening.
I do watch myself in the mirror.
Huh?
You said while it's happening?
Yeah. I want to see what it's like. I've never been a top, so I've never seen it from that angle.
Would you try to top somebody? No. Not at all? Like, not for what? Just for the experience? No.
If I was in a relationship, and although no guy I've ever talked to has been like, okay, can we just...
She gonna keep nodding her head.
I was maybe in that saying, yeah, so exactly. I don't see it.
She don't want no ass.
Okay.
But I will say, I can look at a man's butt and say, oh, he has a nice butt.
So do you think that when it comes to a relationship, like that's going to be something that's not everyone come up as a problem?
I hope not. I mean, I don't really usually care for a versatile guy relationship-wise, just personality and how it works for us. So hopefully, you know, it sounds crazy to pray for it that way, but God willing, I meet a total type who never wants it.
You better talk about prayer.
What's the... Wait, I think there's only like... Why are y'all the only people that's answering these questions?
I know. Come on, Jamez.
Oh, yeah, Jamez is all quiet.
Because her boyfriend's...
Don't start.
Are we waiting?
Yeah,
Aaron.
I don't.
Aaron.
I'm not into too many. What?
Hold on. Aaron, what did I tell you to do prior to the show? Who did I tell you to get into?
I can't look at my text messages.
But who did I tell you to get into? You was like...
I don't remember.
What is this co-conspirating over the text messages situation?
Alex?
No. I said I want you to get into somebody's ass, and you was like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "The one that sits X, Y, and Z." And you was like, "Well, who did I say?"
I don't remember, and I can't look at my text messages because I'm on the phone. Who you point at on my phone is Dwayne.
Yeah, that's who I see you pointing to, Dwayne.
No, all the way at the bottom.
I mean's ass.
What you getting in for me? What I do? What's going on with me?
Bill told Aaron to get into
you. You don't never want to answer the questions.
Because he ain't answered nothing.
I always answer questions.
He hasn't really been talking at all.
I answered the last question.
I didn't hear anything.
You said you were vanilla. You
said
you were vanilla.
If I'm vanilla,
you said you were vanilla.
You chocolate.
I said that Phil is vanilla.
Yeah, Phil is very vanilla.
You chocolate.
And Dwayne is too.
What are you? I mean,
chocolate.
I'm in between. Like I'm not gonna say I'm extreme.
What's the freakiest thing that you've ever done?
I fucked outside.
Yeah.
So that's not nothing crazy.
Like on a deck. Do you have a deck? I mean.
No, I don't have a deck. But I would though if I did.
Yeah.
So what were your limitations when it comes to like people asking you to do freaky stuff, like the guy with the scat thing or the pee thing, like with the water sports? Are you into any of that stuff?
No.
Would you
I'm
do
not
it
into
if they
that.
asked you to do it?
Nah, I wouldn't do it. That's just
You
a turn
wouldn't?
off for me.
Would you? Would I? If not on you, but if they wanted you to do it to them?
If I do it to them, I would want nothing else to do with them to do nothing after that.
So
Okay.
let me ask you something. What if your man said, "Yo, I want you to piss on me"? You not?
He wouldn't say it.
But what if he did though?
If he did, I wouldn't do it.
So he. What if he said, "Yo, I really want this. If you don't do it, I'm gonna go find somebody."
I'm telling you. Well, go ahead.
No, he said divorce. He said divorce.
They didn't get there yet.
That's real. That's some real shit. Like that's something that's just really something that I'm
No,
not into.
but real shit. If you in the marriage and you,
And I'm not married.
but you know the fucking. if you in a long-term relationship, you develop new sexual.
That's not. I'm telling you, that's not my thing.
All right, so I'm.
So
telling
we can.
you being with
agree with
somebody.
me.
You being with somebody for
There
years.
you go.
They said, "Yo,
Let's sit back and
I'm not. Listen. I know what I'm into. I'm cool with trying shit out and doing certain things and
So that's what I'm saying.
bringing this little tool. But that's something that I'm not doing.
all right."
I'm not doing.
So you said you cool with trying shit out. If your man said, "Yo, piss on me one time," like, "Yo,"
I'm telling you. What did I just tell you? Why can't you comprehend that?
But what's wrong with that though? What's wrong with that?
It's something. It's something that I'm not into.
But you're
What
not.
if he said? What if he said this is a one-time thing?
No, I don't. If one time,
I just
no
want to
time.
try to see what I
One
think.
time, no time.
James, what about you?
You can't change it. You can't change it. You can't change it.
It's a no. It's a no. It's a no for me. It's a no for me
No,
because I'm a very sensual, passionate, sex type of guy, and I mean I don't mind doing like,
I like the flag up top. Phil is
just because she's borderline porn star. That's on you.
she has no boundaries and limitations.
Because she like
well, according to the girls, I like to get fisted. No,
I mean, you said it, not us.
The man's you're frozen.
honestly, but for me, no.
I'm gonna change my profile picture on Facebook to this.
you better do it. You better motherfucking do it.
No, it's a no for me. No,
But
you go to
if you peed on somebody, where does that happen?
In the shower.
Huh?
Oh,
No, actually, well, the boy that I peed in his mouth, it happened in his bed.
Well,
There was another
that would be a
guy.
no. That would be a no.
There was another guy that I peed inside of, and it happened in an apartment in his living room.
I would consider peeing on, but only in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be peed on. I actually, when I was younger,
Don't pee on me ever.
yeah,
I don't want that. I don't want
Alex.
that.
So you mean to tell me that you are okay with standing on top of a nigga while he's sitting in the shower with your dick pissing on somebody?
I would. Well, like, before I say 100%, I would, and somebody hit me up for it.
Out your butt, out your penis,
Well,
out your butt.
I
So,
can't be out of my
I'm
head.
gonna tell you another story. So me and Dwayne were talking about this on the podcast. There was a guy that before he came over, me and my ex, we had a threesome together, and he was saying that he squirts. So in my mind, I'm like, out of what? You know, you squirting on your ass, you squirting on your dick. What? I didn't know. And so literally, like as we're having sex with him, he's bottoming, he's like squirting out of his dick. And I didn't know what it was because Dwayne said it was pee, but it didn't look like pee to me because it was like, it almost looked like pre-cum to me. So I think it's just different.
I'll tell you what, the scatting and the water sports and shit like that, that's a little too extreme for me.
That's a lot.
I can do a lot of things, but those two things I wouldn't be able to get into. But to each his own, though.
Yeah.
I ain't judging.
So what is your...
Those are my stories.
Say it again, Alex.
So what is your freaky thing that makes you a little bit less vanilla than Phil?
Mm. I like when it comes to. I like my clothes being taken off. I like that. I'm into that.
So you want somebody
So-
to undress you?
Somebody
Undress
start
me.
snoring.
Undress me. See, that's the thing. Like, sex is
I
not
heard
just
somebody
all about the
start
act. It's everything that leads up. It's everything that leads up to it. So you play a little foreplay, a little role play, get into it a little bit.
Now, role play.
scenes.
You know what? Role play is something I've never done, but I would love to do it.
Mm-hmm. Not everybody is just into the liberty of just going into a room and just fucking.
Yeah. I think foreplay is important.
Very important.
I think that when it comes to dating, I want to know if you've experienced everything you want to experience sexually. Because I don't want you to try to explore some things that I've already done that I want to do again with me.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a good perspective. That's
What if
definitely
you
a
wanna
good
explore
perspective.
some things that you haven't done it, but they already done it?
Would you say?
What if you wanted to explore something new that they have already done and they don't want to do it again?
I've explored everything possibly that you could explore sexually. I think I have.
Have you had sex with a little person?
Y'all hear?
With a little person, that's not something that I want to do and I would never do because I'm afraid of little people.
Oh, are you?
I'm petrified of them. Yes.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'11".
Oh, okay.
All right, Jamesh, you got anything to say?
No, I enjoyed the conversation.
Phil said we got to wrap this up, so I mean we're wrapping it up.
'Cause I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
you got somewhere to be at 3:00, right?
Dwayne has somewhere to be. Yeah.
Yes. All right, Phil.
He doesn't want me talking about him being fisted no more.
You
so
know
we gotta go.
he's on Metro. He got a Metro line.
You know, all of that's getting edited out, right?
Let me tell you something. You have a platform and I have a platform. So whether you delete it off of this or not, it's
Yeah,
still gonna get posted.
You got that.
and I still love you, boo.
You can talk all you want, but unless it comes out of my mouth, that you know what I mean, it doesn't matter. So all of this will get. As a matter of fact, every time you talk, I'm going to edit you out.
That's fine.
Gavin, you want to go ahead and close us out?
Oh, with a prayer?
Yeah. First lady.
Everybody, please close your eyes and bow your head.
I'm gonna take a drink.
Nah, but real talk, it's been really good, like, hanging out with you guys today. Like, we appreciate you guys joining our platform. Like, you guys' show is great. I'm a little bit tipsy right now. I'm about to go get fisted later. So listen, guys, hit us up with your questions. Tables, so I mean, and anybody got anything last minute to say before we head out of here?
I do want to say it was a really great time hanging out with you guys. You know, I wanted to be on here for so long, so especially since you come onto our show. I wanted to come on here and kind of shake things up a little bit. I didn't know the whole thing was going to be about you being fisted because I was not educated on that. But I'm so glad that I got on here to find out this was a thing. But also just make sure you guys check out me and Dwayne on Affairs of the Heart podcast.com. And you know, we love you guys. We actually ask us about you guys because when you came onto our show. So I always send people you guys' way. But I love what you guys are doing. I wish I was on that episode with that guy who you said you need to help him get some dick because I have so many questions.
Antar.
Yeah, that I love that episode. And I just love what you guys are doing. I hope you guys stay consistent with it and just keep doing it. You know, however you guys have to do it. You guys are on to something very great, and I do appreciate being on this platform with you guys.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it, and the love is with you guys. We appreciate you guys. You guys are doing your thing down there in Atlanta, and like we love the brotherly love, sisterly affection thing going on. So you know, good shit. Good shit.
We all the new kids on the block, but guess what? We're gonna be the top guys at the end of it. So, I mean, some of us will still stay bottom end, but we'll be on the top as well.
Alex, that was.
And then we always have our Black Power brother.
So where can we find you guys? What's your handles? Social media.
You can find me at So Debonair. That's Debonair with no O on all social media. And then again, you can find us at affairsoftheheartpodcast.com. Dwayne has 1,000 names. Go ahead, Dwayne.
You can simply find me at Dwayne Q. That's DEWAYNE and the letter Q on Facebook and on Instagram.
and sometimes at, sometimes bottoming. So it's been great talking to you guys. So you guys have a blessed.
It's been fun.
It's been fun. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
See y'all.
Take care.